You pick up your phone just to check the time. Suddenly, 45 minutes are gone. You don't remember deciding to scroll. You don't remember the first video or the 10th or the 40th. Where did the time go? Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was built to do, inside a system that was built to exploit it. Here's a number that should stop you. The average person now spends over 2 hours a day on social media alone and checks their phone more than 140 times. That's not a willpower problem. That's a design problem. And your brain is losing. To understand why, you have to go back to a small mechanism deep inside your head, one that evolved millions of years before smartphones existed. It's called the dopamine system. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It isn't. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It doesn't reward you for getting something good. It rewards you for the possibility of getting something good. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz discovered this when he was studying dopamine neurons in the brain. He found that dopamine doesn't spike when a reward arrives. It spikes right before, in the moment of uncertainty, the moment you don't yet know what's coming. Scientists call this the reward prediction error. Your brain is constantly comparing what it expected to what it got, and the gap between the two is where dopamine lives. Now hold that thought and picture your phone. Every time you open an app, you don't know what's waiting for you. Maybe it's a boring post. Maybe it's something hilarious. Maybe it's a message from someone you like. You don't know, and that not knowing is the hook. Psychologists call this a variable ratio reward schedule. It means the reward doesn't come every time, and it doesn't come on a predictable schedule. It comes randomly. This isn't a new discovery. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran a famous experiment with pigeons and levers. Some pigeons got food every time they pressed the lever. Others got food only sometimes, at random intervals. Which group pressed the lever more? The random group, by far. Predictable rewards create predictable behavior. Unpredictable rewards create obsession. Slot machines run on this exact principle. So does your phone. Every pull of the lever, every pull to refresh, every swipe up for a new video is built on the same mechanism that kept pigeons pecking for hours and kept gamblers in casinos long after they meant to leave. So let's look at what actually happens in your brain when you sit down and open an app you didn't plan to open. Your thumb moves before your thought does. That's the first sign. The behavior has become automatic, a habit loop your brain runs without needing your permission. You see a notification or you feel a flicker of boredom, and your hand is already reaching for the phone. That's the cue. Then comes the routine, the scrolling itself. Then comes the reward, small and unpredictable. A new video, a like, a message. Cue, routine, reward. Your brain wires this loop tighter every single time you run it. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. Dr. Anna Lembke, a psychiatrist and addiction specialist at Stanford, describes the brain like a set of balance scales. Every time you get a hit of dopamine, whether from a video, a like, a snack, or a drug, your brain tips the scale toward pleasure. But your brain hates imbalance, so it tips back automatically to the other side, toward pain, toward wanting more, just to feel normal again. This is why 20 minutes on your phone rarely feels like enough, because the moment the scrolling stops, the scale swings the other way, and you feel a small flatness, a small itch, a small need for one more scroll. That itch isn't laziness. It's neurochemistry, doing exactly what it evolved to do, except now it's being triggered every 4 seconds by an algorithm that was optimized by teams of engineers to keep that itch alive as long as possible. Here's the twist most people don't expect. You'd think the fix is discipline, willpower. Just try harder to put the phone down. But willpower research tells a different story. Willpower isn't a fixed reserve you can flex like a muscle in the moment. It depletes fast, and it depletes faster under stress, fatigue, or boredom, which happen to be the exact three states that send you reaching for your phone in the first place. That's the trap. Doom scrolling is most tempting exactly when you have the least willpower to resist it. So, if willpower isn't the answer, what is? Computer scientist Cal Newport, who has spent years studying focus and attention, argues that the real fix isn't fighting the urge in the moment. It's changing your environment so the urge never gets triggered at all. He calls this designing your environment for the brain you actually have, not the brain you wish you had. You don't beat a slot machine by trying harder. You beat it by not sitting down in front of it. That means small, boring, unglamorous changes. Deleting the app instead of promising yourself you'll use it in moderation. Charging your phone in another room overnight instead of trusting yourself not to check it at 2 a.m. Turning off notifications so your phone stops manufacturing false urgency out of nothing. None of this is about becoming a different person. It's about removing the lever so your hand has nothing to pull. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has pointed to something else worth understanding here. The first thing you look at in the morning sets the tone for your entire dopamine baseline that day. Open your phone first thing, and you front-load your brain with dozens of tiny, unpredictable hits before you've even gotten out of bed. Your brain starts the day already chasing a reward it hasn't earned. Delay that first check by even 30 minutes, and you give your dopamine system a chance to reset before the loop begins. None of this means you're weak or addicted in some shameful moral sense. It means you're a normal human brain running an ancient reward system inside a device engineered by very smart people whose job is literally to hold your attention as long as possible. That's not a fair fight. It was never supposed to be. But here's what changes the moment you understand the mechanism. The scroll stops feeling like a mystery. You start to notice the cue before your thumb moves. You start to feel the itch as neurochemistry instead of a personal failing. And once you can see the loop, you can finally step outside of it. So try this today. Before you pick up your phone, just once, pause for 3 seconds and ask yourself, what am I actually looking for right now? Most of the time, you won't have an answer. And that gap, that 3-second gap between the cue and the automatic reach, is the only space where change is even possible. You picked up your phone just to check the time. This time, maybe you actually will.